Prince George learning to fly at 11 as future king takes his first flight during summer dash. Prince George, one day destined to lead the royal family when he eventually takes the throne, has now taken command of something entirely different, a plane. Yes, that's right. The young royal had his very first flying lesson at just 11 years old. Can you imagine? George visited a nearby airfield with his parents, Prince William and Catherine, who, understandably, watched anxiously from the runway. George took to the skies with a professional instructor in a small, single-engine aircraft for this monumental first flight of his life. And how did it go? Well, the flight was a success. George landed safely and, from what we've heard, he absolutely loved every minute of it. The aircraft he flew in was specifically designed for young learners, teenagers or children around George's age, and it's a dual-control plane, similar to how you'd learn to drive with an instructor in a car. So, George didn't have to pilot the plane all by himself. He had an experienced instructor by his side to take care of the more technical parts like takeoff, landing, and flying safely through the skies. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. This all happened at White Waltham Airfield, which has a special connection to his great-grandfather, Prince Philip. Prince Philip also learned to fly from this very same airfield. Located near Maidenhead in Berkshire, where he earned his pilot's license in the 1950s. Isn't that incredible? The royal family has a rich history in aviation, stretching back decades. As I mentioned, Prince Philip got his license when he was in his 30s, and George's grandfather, King Charles, also trained with the Royal Air Force, and of course, let's not forget Prince William, George's dad, who had an illustrious career as a search and rescue pilot in the Royal Air Force, flying helicopters. Not only that, but he also piloted air ambulances in East Anglia. William has even said recently that he would love to return to flying helicopters and taking on those life-saving missions again one day. And it doesn't stop there. Prince Andrew flew helicopters in combat during the Falklands War, and of course, Prince Harry piloted helicopters in Afghanistan. So you see, flying is practically in their blood. The Middleton family, George's maternal grandparents, also have deep ties to aviation. Both Carol and Michael Middleton, George's grandma and grandpa, worked for British Airways. So, really, George's journey into the skies seems almost inevitable. Now, it's important to remember that George has had quite a tough year. He was just 10 when his mom, Catherine, was diagnosed with cancer, and he's now 11, having gone through what must have been a challenging summer. We've seen some truly heartwarming videos of Catherine, surrounded by her children, with William reassuring everyone that she no longer requires cancer treatment. It's been an emotional roller coaster for George, and this flight, his first flight with his instructor at White Waltham Airfield, took place on the very last day of his summer holiday. So, you could say it was a well-earned treat after what has been a difficult year. Who knows, maybe this is just the beginning of something bigger for George. Perhaps we could be looking at yet another member of the royal family destined to join the Royal Air Force.